Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Pyre. I am Barendipitous and this, I believe, is going to be the last rite before the next liberation rite. Hey you guys, where's your friend? You know, the one with the big one with the horns, likes frowning, stuff like that. Something happened there or what? Heard a crazy story, she just flew out of here or something. Anyways. So what are we here? That's pretty sweet actually. You guys take care, okay? And thanks for doing business. Here we go. As the sky above the Isle of Kaelmer darkens, your companions watch in silence and await the commencing of the rites. Volfred speaks up after a time. It's time again, Rito, my boy. Now everything is ready, and the stars begin to shine once more, precisely as foretold. I guess we got all the Titan stars now, huh? You, again, you come to torment us. Have you any idea how afraid of you we are after last time? Your adversaries are prepared, Rita. Who shall conduct the rites on your behalf? So not Tizo. Probably Bertrude. But then who else? Yeah, her, I think. We await the ancient rites commencement. We are not afraid of you, especially not this night. Worm Knights, attack! Yeah! Oh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh, come on. I was there. What is happening? There we go. Ugh, this night, we knew we had no chance. For shame. Nice. Good a time as any to say thanks for having me along on this strange little journey of yours, reader darling. After you defeated the Pyre hearts rather soundly, there is little time for you to rest as yet. The night beckons, and the next rite revealed itself to be a vital one. It is already time, Rita. Come see for yourself. The coldness of the season now presents to us another chance. He heads out straight away, and you follow in return. Indeed, among the remaining stars you see one with which you are familiar now burns ever brightly. You know, in spite of this whole negative feedback loop thing, like everyone's been growing steadily stronger. I think because I haven't been focusing on one or just like a select few. I don't think I'll ever get anyone up to like level 5 in Enlightenment or anything. Already are the Nightwing summoned back to Mount Elodial. Picture the lights as a wheel broken free from a black wagon. It is turning uncontrollably and soon shall reach a sudden stop. We should have several chances left for someone to go free. Either us or else our adversaries, but not both. What is at stake each time is further complicated now, I must admit, knowing we have so few opportunities remaining. Those whom we send back to the Commonwealth, should our plans somehow fail, they may look back upon their exile with fondness. So, returning to the Commonwealth is not inherently a mercy, I don't think. Moreover, there is also those among us whom we count on to prevail in the Rites. We need them on the Nightwings just as much as we need them in the Commonwealth. We cannot simply grow our numbers here, given the circumstances. And so, who stays, who goes, these choices affect us all. No pressure there, my boy. Now, I don't know about you, but I shall go and take my leave for now. Let's set forth again at daybreak. You are unaccustomed to seeing Bertrude smiling, and yet there she is, doing just that. You can see why. You have observed before how her manner seems to soften to the degree it can whenever Wolfred is around. If only I could have seen their faces then. What was your secret there, I ask, dear Bertrude? It appears that they are reminiscing about old times in the Commonwealth. Flame-resistant inks, sandalwood. 'Twas the inks themselves which kept those volumes from being burnt to ash. Flame-resistant inks? Of course. The good officers who came to visit, they were so intent on burning all the evidence, they did not stop to think the evidence was fireproof. Alas, that they later found a way to burn their stamping press regardless. By written words, they moved us many times, and many others whom we know there in the southern bogs. No matter, dear Bertrude. What's done is done. At least we made it difficult for them, is that not so? While introducing some of our fellow citizens to new ideas. Perhaps. My words would not have reached near half as many were it not for you, not to mention how I managed to elude them for another decade or so. I am ever thankful for your sacrifice. Thy thanks shall not be necessary, Sandalwood. Well, you shall have to take them from me anyhow. Thank you, Bertrude, for helping to fulfill a modest author's dreams. What good's a stamping press without good inks? No good at all. They exchange a laugh at this, but then, even still, and through this new ordeal, thou hast no love for us. Is that not so? Bertrude. Nay, we understand full well. Thou needest not further explain thyself. There are different kinds of love, Bertrude. On that account, thou hast nothing to teach us, Sandalwood. They each remain silent for a time. Our hearts, they cannot be controlled, Bertrude. Blasted things they are, they act well on their own. He puts away his pipe. I am blessed to have you in my life, back in the Commonwealth, and here as well. I mean that, although I know that it is not enough. At first Bertrude does not seem to acknowledge this in any way, but then, Nay, Sandalwood, it is enough. It is enough. She departs without awaiting a response, brushing past you as she goes. Volfred soon turns away as well, politely bidding you a good evening. The two old friends have evidently managed their way past certain tensions in their long-standing relationship. They rather seem to draw certain strength from each other. As the wagon soars the skies above Wakingwood, you notice Wolfred appears lost in thought. You cannot sense straight away what he is thinking. Do not mind me, Rita. It is simply that being here in this vicinity, it brings back a lot of memories and gives me much to ponder. I hid within these woods for many, many years, making preparations for our next plan. I cast aside my raiment and became untraceable. There I waited for the plan to germinate. So, it means a lot now to be here, above that place, at last. Quite the view, wouldn't you say, my boy? Quite the view indeed. Oh, I thought there was a point of interest. Oh, we're here. Cool. You make landing upon Mount Elodio, where Volfred pulls you aside while the others complete the post-flight inspection. He puffs at his pipe before speaking up. Rita, as you know, I now wear the raiments once again. This means that I myself may soon be worthy to regain my freedom in the eyes of the 8 scribes. Know, however, that it is not my wish to go just yet. It is true, I should be of some benefit to our plan back in the Commonwealth, but I feel my place is here for the time being. Perhaps once the Nightwings are on a sure footing in that path, my time shall come. These are my feelings on the matter, and I wanted you to know. I shall, of course, defer to you. Our path is not to contradict the reader's will. Anyway, I trust that all of us, yourself included, shall find our freedom. If not soon, then when all this is all over. Alright, so I'll definitely respect his wishes. I'm not sure yet who I would set free just yet. Having completed the post-flight inspection, you and Tizo visit the monument of Golgothanyan here in Emperor's Fall. Please tell. The great-grandfather said hello, old friend. I hope you are all right among the stars. You must know why the stars are fading out, because none of us do, and some of us, I think, are beginning to feel afraid. Please grant us courage to press on. Soon he has finished paying his respects. First time Tizo had, normal dialogue, I guess? You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Golden Nathaniel has shown you favor. You soon shall ascend the mountain, though there is time now to pursue your vocations. Excellent. I think Gertrude is most in need of it. I'm thinking of allowing her to go free. But wait, but I don't know.
Very well then. Educate us if thou canst.
You and Gertrude spend some time reviewing some of the specific aspects of the rite, such as the properties of the aura. You sense she gains something from it.
We confess thine observations continue to be of intrigue.
You observe Tizo rummaging about the black wagon as though in search of something. He notices you there and rushes up to greet you. Tizo is glad that you are here. He was just reminiscing about old times. But just as quickly he resumes his search. He's looking for something a former exile of the Nightwings once gave him. He's growing frustrated the object he seeks is nowhere to be found. You almost do not notice the lone minstrel's approach. I am afraid that it is gone, Tizo. I am very sorry. Rita, it is nothing that ought to be cause for much concern. Merely that Tizo has misplaced something of sentimental value to him. Ah, it was just a spare bandage, he indicates, exactly like the one on his horn. Tizo here has had many adventures with the Nightwings. Is that not so, Tizo? He squawks in approval. Those memories shall always stay with you. Is that not what matters most of all? He confirms this as well. Then please do not worry yourself about it any more. It is a symbol of a distant past, besides. Tizo skulks away up into the rafters. The lone minstrel watches him go. The object here you seek does not exist, Rita. Tizo searches for from a fleeting memory of his days with the Nightwings of the past. He performed the regular duties of other drive imps at first, but soon distinguished himself. I was none too surprised. He was clearly special. He had grown close with the other members of the Nightwings when misfortune fell and the triumvirate fell apart. Perhaps Volfred has revealed to you more of the details. As for Tizo, I feel he must make peace with the shadows of his past somehow. Perhaps then he shall continue searching. You need not worry for him, of course. He is resilient, and shall always serve the Nightwings well. You might say that he was born for it. Begging your pardon, Rita. The lone minstrel excuses himself in his polite way, leaving you to consider what he said. Alright, here we go. A lovely little snippet, of course, about Tizo. Can't remember who I had in the last ride. Dang it. Let's go here. En route to the mountaintop, you pass by a monument to Lusglorian, and Pamitha happens to take notice. I have to hand it to you, Pamitha. You have a real gift for getting yourself into one bad situation after another. Now here you are, praying to the dead to bring the stars back. Is that it? Maybe you'll get a chance to... Oh, dang it, I pushed space. My instinct. Whatever. Soon she has finished paying her respects. As you continue your ascent, you sense that Lusglorian has shown her favor. Nice. You and your fellow exiles gather at the foot of Scribe's Gate, before an archway carved of stone, where stands the Gate Guardian. Greetings to you, Celeste. I see the exiles of the Nightwings have returned, even as the cycle of the rites begins drawing to a close. The Nightwings accept this as the will describes. The Gate Guardian laughs at this, softly for some reason. And you, Tariq? Do you accept their will as well? But the lone minstrel does not answer her. It is no matter. Now, Nightwings, each of you, come forth and state what is it that you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. One by one the Nightwings declare themselves. You all pass through as before. When Volford speaks in turn, Celeste stops him. You. I see you wear the raiments once again. Explain. The cycle of the rites is ending. While I do not know exactly why, I have my fears. One of my contemporaries, he who fell from the summit long ago, he lives and seeks his liberty again. He stands against us now, and believes his triumvirate to be the true Nightwings. I remember well the contemporary whom you mean. Then the Nightwings stand divided. Yes, and so I wear the raiment once again, in case that it may help to right this wrong. For I am Wilfred Sandalwood, and I seek liberty for each of us, so that one day we all might stand shoulder to shoulder on the other side, and bring our freedom to the people there. She considered Wolfred's words for a moment. I see. Then move along. The guardian of Scribes' Gate regards you all, and then she beckons you onward. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. Celeste. What is it, Tariq? The will of the scribes. Long have we both followed it. I think you would agree. In equal measure has it drawn us close as separated us. But if their aim now is to keep us apart for another age or longer, then no, I do not wish to accept their will. You blaspheme, Tariq. Go at the gate, no less. And at the gate, no less. But the lone minstrel simply puts his hat back on. Then may the scribes themselves admonish me. Till tomorrow night, Celeste. Having reached the peak of Mount Elodial again, you see the vastness of the downside all around you. It leaves you deep in thought regarding which of your companions ought to go free this night, as Jodariel did last time. Volfred looks up as you approach and smiles. I never thought that I would say such things, my boy, but it is good to wear the raiment in the rites once more. The march of time does have a way of healing certain hurts. Besides, the Nightwings of today, we are a very different beast than the triumvirate which took me in almost a decade ago. Ours were the triumvirate of exactly 3, well 4 with Tizor, who proved to be an exception, though historically the Nightwings never took on more exiles than needed. I have mentioned my predecessor Brighton and my former companions Erisa and Orlek. Perhaps naively I had hoped my time with them would not be relevant directly to what we now attempt. But seeing as our stories are now intertwined, do let me know if there's more you wish to learn of them. Yes, awesome. You inquire about Brighton, who you understand was liberated prior to when Volfred first joined the Nightwings. I never met Brighton in person, but I know him rather well by now, though for that matter, my boy, so do you. Huh? He studies your reaction for a moment, then, Brighton was born wealthy, but not special otherwise. You would have no reason to have heard of him. He was exiled for negligent misconduct. I do not know exactly why, and do not care for spreading rumours. I first heard of him through Erisa and Orlek, who found in me a suitable replacement following his liberation. They spoke little of him. Orlek gave me the impression they did not see eye to eye, but he assured me I soon would hear from him myself. Indeed, as I became accustomed to the book, which you know well by now, I began to hear the voice. Wolford looks at you as if to see if you yet take his meaning. Brighton is the voice? Really? But why? You see, my boy, after Brighton's liberation, he assumed a new identity within the Commonwealth, and a new responsibility to the Triumvirate which liberated him. That voice you hear from time to time, whenever the stars align, it's his. He is no longer Brighton. He is now none other than the Archjustice Androbolus the Ninth himself. Oh my gosh. Liberated exiles retain certain burdens to their own triumvirates. They have much to thank them for, not just their freedom, but their exalted status in the Commonwealth. As theocratic rulers of the Commonwealth, they do not wear masks and raiments simply for the sake of ceremony. They are not who they appear to be. Their public paths are nothing but a fabrication. Like Brighton, they once were exiles too. Brighton, that voice, He has no love for either one of us by now. He knows full well what we attempt to do, yet he is bound by the tradition of the rites. He shall always stand on ceremony and complain, but I think he knows deep down that he is powerless. How ironic that one of such high status in the Commonwealth should be so frightened of some long-forgotten exile such as we. Anyway, that's Brighton for you. He must have seen in you the potential to be one of his staunch supporters for a time, if that's a path you... Now then, who else should we talk about? You ask about Erisa, who you understand betrayed Orlek at the moment of his liberation, but then perished in the Shimmer Pool. But I suppose you ought to know something of Erisa's past, lest you be quick to judge her solely by her actions. Mind you, I would never make excuses for the terrible choice she ultimately made, but her life, I understand, was very difficult. Erisa had been exiled for the foulest of acts. You could see it plainly branded on her face. Such was the heinousness of what she did in the eyes of the Commonwealth. She was an apprentice blacksmith in her youth, taking up the post left by her brother. He had fallen in battle on the blood border, despite wielding their father's own lance and armour. Her father never quite recovered after this, and had grown cruel and detached. It was Erisa who took the brunt of his fury. He expected the impossible of her. One day it was all too much for her, so when next he lashed out at her, she struck back. She struck back again and again and again. When they came for her, her father was gone, and she was not herself. She was promptly cast into the downside for the crime, where her hatred for the Commonwealth only grew. Erisa was always intense in her demeanour, haunted by her father's memory. More than that, her chief motive for wanting back her freedom was, in hindsight, not a healthy one. She longed to join our nation's enemies, to build for the high-wing remnants a great siege machine that could shatter the defences of the Commonwealth and forever end our feud. What she ultimately did to Orlek was an act of pure and thoughtless desperation. I do not think that it was simply evil, nor do I think that it was personal. I often wondered, though, if, in her final moments in the Shimmer Pool, she understood what she had done, and the depths to which she had fallen. For years, I must admit, I hated her, but now my only hope is that she found a peace untenable during her relatively short life in the downside and the Commonwealth. Furthermore, I hope the life of Erisa offers some perspective yet to those of us who have not made the same mistakes. Now then, was there something else? Yeah, Orlek guy. You ask about what Orlek was like when he and Volford first became acquainted. Volford remained silent for some time. I was very, very sick, you know, when I first landed in the downside. The long trip down the river must have been a little much for me. It was Orlek who found me. He could not have known of my capacity to read before he revived me. He was a physician, intolerant of the sight of suffering of any kind. Not just any physician, mind you, a gifted, highly decorated one. He served on the front. Back then, skirmishes erupted frequently, and those such as Orlek, they had to deal with many casualties on either side. In time, he said he grew repulsed by what he saw. This sowed in his heart a yearning for an end to all the bloodshed. So he tried to use his status to negotiate a treaty with the high-wing remnants. Must have gone about how you'd expect. He was given direct orders to return to the front, but when he refused to soil his hands again, they cast him to the downside. There he gained the notice of the Night Wings, and before long he grew to be one of the finest rites conductors anyone had ever seen. He was instrumental in the liberation of his companions, whose roles in the Triumvirate were later filled by Erisa and me. In time, Orlek's own opportunity for freedom had come up. He longed for it, so that, with his exalted status, he might stand a better chance of negotiating peace. However, on the evening of his liberation, well, you know the story from that point. Volford breathes a heavy sigh. He and I were kindred spirits for a while. I could not bear to think that he was gone, and now I still cannot entirely believe that he is back. He is our adversary now, transformed, grown cold. Still, part of me is happy that he lives. Make no mistake, of course, I shall not be swayed against our plan, not by Orlek or anyone. As I have said before, we share a higher calling now. As for Orlek, he wants his freedom still, though I wonder if he still remembers why. Anyway, was there anything else, my boy? Nah, that's it. You bid Wolf for a good afternoon and leave him with his memories. My pleasure, leader. Reflecting on the past from time to time helps demonstrate how far we've come, and yet how much farther we have yet to go. Hey guys, so like, I don't know what's going on up there with all the stars all acting real weird and stuff, but let me tell you something here. You ain't gonna find a better deal on all this stuff from anybody. I mean anybody on the damn side. You can trust me and I'll tell you that, okay? So go ahead, stock up. Pleasure was all mine and Dad's, you guys. Alright. I think that's enough for an episode. So I'll end it here. Thank you very much for watching. All the best.